Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Diego. I'm a designer and Webflow expert. And this is my first video here on the channel, so to start with the right foot, I want to talk about something that is very simple, but at the same time can make a big difference in how your visitor experience your website. I want to talk about smooth scrolling. So, have you ever tried to implement smooth scrolling on your website, but you found that the current implementations that exist they have some limitations. For example, you can't use position sticky or position fixed, things that you can't get out of the box with Webflow, or even try to use these libraries to implement, but you had to mess up with code, so it was very complicated, time consuming. Well, fear not, because today I'm going to show you the best smooth scrolling library out there for Webflow, and it's called Lenis by Studio Frame. So let's check it out. So before we dive into the solution, let's define first what is smooth scroll. So for example, when you are on a website and you have some anchor links that when you click, the page scrolls to a specific section of the page, and that behavior of scrolling happens smoothly. This is something that happens out of the box if you have anchor links on the Webflow website. So that's kind of the smooth scroll effect. But the type of scrolling I'm talking about is the actual page scrolling. So when you're using your mouse wheel or the scroll bar, so you scroll the website and you see everything scrolling very smoothly, and it's not just like what happens on the desktop browsers out of the box. So for example, when you're on a phone and you scroll your website with your fingers and you see everything scrolling very smoothly, some kind of momentum effect, this kind of effect doesn't happen out of the box with desktop browsers. So the only way for us to have that kind of behavior is by using some JavaScript libraries out there. So some of the existing solutions that we have today, so these are, for me, are the two most widely used solutions. So we have Locomotive Scroll by Locomotive, and we have the GZAP Scroll Smoother library as well. These are two JavaScript libraries that provide a kind of effect for you. The problem with these two libraries is that what they do is not a real scroll. They are doing something that we call scroll jacking, or simulation of the scroll effect. What happens is if you check the source code while you're scrolling on a page that has these libraries, is that you have a container, and the JavaScript library, it grabs the scroll position based on your mouse wheel or scroll bar, whatever, and uses to translate the position of the container by using CSS transform. And it's a valid solution, but the problem is when you use CSS transforms, some of the CSS features that are available out of the box and that we use a lot with Webflow, like me, myself, I use a lot of scroll interactions and use these that thing in combination with position sticky or position fixed. So I combine all of those things. And when you use CSS transforms, you lose these things. So position sticky and position fixed, they don't work as they should if you have a container with CSS transforms. So how do we solve that? It wasn't possible until recently when Studio Frame released Lenis, which is a new smooth scrolling library, which is very good, and I'm going to show you the website right now. So this is, oops, I click it here. Sorry, let me just go back to the top. So this is the Lenis website. It's a demo website, but it's a perfect example of what you can do with Lenis. And as I start scrolling, you see that the website scrolls very smoothly. It's a nice behavior. And you see this section right here, right? With the other libraries, well, you would have to use some code or function or configuration to make the section be sticky on the page, because the real position sticky doesn't work. But with Lenis, Lenis is actually a real scroll behavior. If you check the scroll bar here, you see the scroll indicator here, and you start scrolling, you see that not only the page scrolls smoothly, but also the scroll bar itself, it's scrolling smoothly. That doesn't happen with the other libraries. You can see that the behavior here is the default, but the page is scrolling smoothly. And this is like the real position sticky using just CSS. That's all you need. And we can keep scrolling, and we see here, for example, this section. This section uses a combination of position sticky. So this whole container is using position sticky. And as you keep scrolling, you have this horizontal scrolling effect. This is something that I like to do a lot with Webflow. So you can use Webflow interactions to create this horizontal scroll effect. But you need position sticky for this to work properly. And the other libraries, that you can't use those libraries with Webflow interactions if you're doing scroll interactions like this. But with Lenis, you can, because this is just position sticky, and you can replicate this with Webflow interactions. You have this very interesting and scroll horizontal scroll behavior. So it's fantastic. So yeah, all of this, it's using a combination of position sticky or position fixed, all these kind of cool stuff. Okay, so how do we use Lenis? It's just like, you can just implement Lenis in 1 minute. It's really easy. You don't have to mess up with the structure of your website. Nothing. All you have to do is you go to their GitHub repo. I'm gonna paste all these links on the description of this video later. So this is the Lenis repository on GitHub, and here they have like all the details, like the main features, comparison between smooth scrolling and locomotive scroll. You can see like how lightweight it is this, and this basic setup, the settings, methods, all of this. So documentation is all here. Okay, so all you have to do, I'm gonna show here a demo site. So I created this demo site here, pretty basic stuff, default template on Webflow. Okay, so it's a one-page thing, and we have some anchor links here, right? So this is like the default behavior on Webflow. You can have this out of the box just by using anchor links on Webflow, which is great, okay? But the scrolling with my mouse is the regular scroll. So how do we make this more interesting? Using the smooth scroll, obviously. So here's my project, and all I have to do is open the page settings. Can go here. So before body tag, all I have to do is come here, copy the CDN link, paste it. Then I will open another script tag. Okay, and then they have a code sample here. Can you ignore the first line? Just copy the rest of the stuff and paste right here. Not changing anything else here. There's some things you can cut out here, but let's just leave as it is. Save it. Publish. And now let's take a look. Let me refresh my page. And it's working. It's working already. So I'm scrolling and everything works perfectly. Right? This is amazing. Like, all I had to do is spend like a minute just pasting these things on your Webflow project, and now it's working. And I can use position fix, position sticky. So this top bar here is just position sticky, nothing else. I don't have to use anything else to make it stay on the page. So I can use all the juicy stuff with Webflow interactions and have smooth scrolling at the same time. So isn't that amazing? The only problem with Lenis and Webflow right now is a weird behavior that sometimes happens when you have anchor links, like I said. So I can click here, and for this website is working fine, but I think that depending on the browser and depending on the configuration website, it might happen that when you click on a specific link, it scrolls to the bottom, to the specific section you selected, and after it finishes scrolling, it will just get back to the top. Happened to me multiple times. So how do we solve that with Lenis? The only way to work around on this is by not using anchor links at all. I think they are working on solutions for this kind of stuff. The problem is not with Lenis itself. The problem is that Webflow has some JavaScript code to generate this move scroll behavior. So we have to get rid of this standard this is standard behavior that comes with Webflow, and have our own solutions for scroll with anchor links. So what I created a snippet of code here that we can use. I'm gonna create a GitHub a gist with this code later, so you can just copy and paste. Is let's use data attributes, right? So we have here the link. The link is going to the section called experience. So I know that we have a section here called my experience. It's the ID, right? So instead of using the default section feature, let's remove this. So start URL, nothing, just a empty anchor link. And then all I have to do is add this, a data attribute. It can be whatever you want. What I'm using here is data target. So we know that the target for this link is the div or element with the ID equals experience. Okay, so we're pointing to a specific section. And then what I have to do is come here, gonna copy my code snippet, just paste it here, and that's all you need. So let's break this down first before we see it working. So all I'm doing here is I use JavaScript to grab all of the elements on the page that has a data target attribute, and then for each of them I'm adding a event listener for a click event. So whenever I click on a specific element that has data target, we first prevent the default behavior, which means that if this is like a scroll, if this is like the page was scroll like this, and then I clicked, it will scroll right back to the top because it's an empty anchor link. So we prevent this using prevent default. Then we grab the value of the data target, which is experience, like you see right here. And then we, using the ID, we grab the element by its ID. So the way I'm doing here, it's an old way. I don't think you even need offset top anymore. All you need is probably just the element. Let's try it, right? And then you use the Lenis scroll to function. So they have documentation here on the method. So scroll to, and there's multiple settings you can tweak here. All I'm doing, I think I'm doing all of them. And yeah, so scroll to, it's a custom function to do the scroll behavior to the element you want. I'm setting this to last like for 3 seconds, and I have a custom easing function. You can customize like the easing effect, like this smooth scroll effect if you want. I recommend using this website here, easings.net. There's multiple easing features. All I have to do is click and copy the function you see right here, and then paste right here. Okay, but I'll leave this as it is. So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna publish. And let's refresh here. So if I mouse over here, experience, you can see that it's an empty link. And if I click, here we go. Using Lenis scroll 2 to run the scroll behavior. It was slower because I set it up with 3 seconds for the scroll behavior, but it's working. It's working perfectly. So that's it. That's how you use Lenis on a Webflow website, so you can have this move like butter scroll behavior without having to worry about not being able to use position sticky or position fix or all those things. So you can have fun with Webflow interactions and have a smooth scroll website at the same time. And that's all for today. I hope you have enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because I'm planning a lot of juicy stuff for my next videos. So stay tuned. Thanks.